Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hi, Binyo. Hi, One-Eye Darling. Hi, Bobo. And hi, Dede. Also, hi, Nino. Hi, Synthwave. And hi to everybody else. Welcome, welcome. Wife! Wife, thank you so much for the sub. Mwah. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let me raise the background noise a bit. Hello, Stray. Welcome. Oh, thank you, Free Roamer, for the contribution to the totem. I hope that Cult of the Lamb keeps track of those even if I'm not playing, because if not, you kind of wasted your money. But I think it does. I'm not sure. But how are you guys doing tonight? I haven't streamed yesterday because I had to wake up super early. And like I woke up at 9 basically. So like I went to sleep earlier around midnight, 1 in the morning. You tried the saltimbocca? I don't think I've ever eaten them, but I don't eat a lot of meat by default. So yeah. So, how you guys doing? Haven't prepared anything for tonight besides an idea, but I want to check with you if you guys want to do that thing. Okay, what I had planned was to read a book called Pen Pals, and it's a horror story from what I've been told. And I thought it would be a great idea to read it to you all. Hello, Drag. Hello, Melody. Welcome, welcome. So, let me open the story. I'll read you. I went to check with you if you might like the story first, of course, before reading it, because I want to read something that is enjoyable for everyone, not just something that I might like. So, the plot, the very short plot, because I don't want to spoil anything from Wikipedia, is Pen Pal is told by a series of non-linear recollections by an anonymous narrator trying to make sense of mysterious events that happened to him during his childhood, the truth of which have been kept from him by his mother all his life. It sounded like a good start to me. So, I don't know. Do you want to read it? Maybe. Oh, you wanted the command list. I had no idea you could do that. Oh, I see. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Just being jealous. Mhm. I made me open. Oop, there it is. Oh, thank you for letting me to drink, Mallory. I wanna try to. This is rigged. And you know the bot isn't working. Why isn't it 100%? Why every result is so low? Yeah, Delhi, the bot is lying. Our compatibility is 100%, of course. We're married, I mean, you're my wife, I'm your wife. It doesn't make sense that the bot gives us such a low result, you know? Hello, Eyes! Welcome, welcome! How you doing? I would love you more if you went to sleep, Bulbo. But you're not going. You never go to sleep. So, what's everyone doing tonight? And it's a weekend night, so probably there's like no one. But wait a second. Okay, I have a little spoiler announcement regarding September. So, I will be hosting a small subathon. Well, it will be 3 days. It's not an uncapped. It's not a continuous 3 days stream, due to the nature of where my PC is, which is in the living room, so I can't stream ASMR during the day. But I will be doing this like triathlon sort of event. And I'm gonna put sort of like 10 days, let's say. And I'll publish an official announcement once I figure out how to make it work, because it's a little bit complicated to organize, given that it will be 3 days long. But I'm positive that I will be able to make an interesting event. Power to Lemonade, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Member King, how are you? So yeah, I hope I'll see you there. I hope I'll see you at the event. Also, let me put the book. Wait, why is it making it open me with documents? I need a PDF. Okay. So I have the book here ready to be read. But first I wanna wait a little bit more to see if some more people will arrive before starting the book. Oh, thank you guys. I think I will structure it with a sort of theme for each day, but I'm working it out. I have my friend slash manager helping me with the event, and we'll be discussing like the organization very soon. It's not feeling very well, so like right now I'm letting him rest. But yeah, we'll figure that out. We'll put out an announcement, and I hope I can make it work, because it's a little bit ambitious. But I'm confident. Also, it would be perfect because during September there are discounts on subs, so it's a chance for people to get a little sub since it costs less, you know. And then I figured, so instead of waiting for October and make people spend more money, I can do it till September and also make them save some money, because of discounts. Big brain. Hello KFC, how you doing? Oh, Lily, your message doesn't work. Our love is too strong for the boat. We broke it. We broke the boat. That's okay. Love you too, Lily. Oh, good night, Daily. Have sweet dreams and sleep well. I'll join you after stream. I can't wink. I forgot I can't wink. Love you too, wife. Good night. Hello, huge gamer. Welcome. Should I make a poll now about tonight's activities? Oh, yeah, let's make one. I'll make it a minute poll. I like making polls. They give me great ideas. Okay, there it is. Make the poll. You guys can vote. Oh, good night, Mallory. Sweet dreams. And sleep well. Bye Bye bye. Mwah. Oh, huge gamer, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire King. That was a nice pun. I see that triggers on requests are winning, but guys, if you're gonna vote for that, don't leave me hanging with no requests in chat, because that always happen. I'll let you guys choose. You choose the triggers and requests, and then nobody requests anything. So if you do vote for triggers, please have a request in mind. I know that it's a meme, Volpo, but what's the point in voting if you're not gonna request anything, you know? Hello, Kevin! Oh yeah! Triggers but no requests. Yeah, I'm gonna say if I don't see a request in the first... Oh, mic scratching. In the first 5 minutes, I'm gonna read. I'm gonna switch to reading the book. But it's all nice and fun until people don't request and I'm left with nothing planned, because I base my streams on like the result of polls, because I have no fantasy of my own, you know. I'm a bad streamer and my streams are all scuffed. I do apologize for that. It's not my fault. I try. Try so hard and go so far, but in the end, didn't even matter. I used to listen a lot to Linkin Park. I haven't heard any other songs in a long time, now that I think about it. The 2 wins in one night? Oh, wow, congrats! That's great to hear. Nice. Yeah, I used to listen to other things when I was a child, I'll be honest. Like, I used to listen to Linkin Park as well, but I had other favorite bands. I was more of a My Chemical Romance kind of kid, you know. Maybe Valpo is going to bed, finally, you know. Maybe he realized that he needs to sleep. I don't know. Oh, also guys, if you haven't voted, if you haven't pulled in the vote, sure, Hanzo. If you haven't voted in the poll, go do that. What are you waiting for? Oh, there it is. Hi, Valpo. Hello, the Kisa Haiminan? Kishaiminan? Did I read it right? Well, welcome, Kiss. the elf boy sits down on the bench in the green to take a break from saving Zelda. It's a link in park. You have a point right there. Actually, I can't say nothing because it's all wrong. Also, another nice pun. Congrats. Hello Archie! Welcome! Oh really? Oh, you lucky bastard. Unfortunately, I haven't had the chance. Soya! Hello! Hello Raiders! Welcome, welcome! How was your stream, Soya? Nino, can you shut Soya out? Thank you so much. Welcome Raiders. How was your stream? Oh, let me introduce myself for those that are new and don't know me. Hello, I'm Hanzo-Chan, a vampire queen. I mainly stream ASMR and I have a very smooth brain and a big heart. You're very welcome. For UNAC 96, IZ 121803, Shoes12 022, and Beach 0311, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. This live is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. I wish at least I could get some money. Oh, welcome. Welcome. 3 went well, nice. Happy to hear that. Hope that you had a very chill stream. Oh, and if you're tired, so yeah, please go and get some rest, because I know that streaming is very tiring. Oh, and guys, friendly reminder to hydrate yourselves. Oh Archie, thank you for gifting us up to Zoya. That's very kind of you. Also, let me drink Demon the Vampire. Yes, I'm a nice vampire though. I don't bite. Maybe, unless you want me to. Oh, Cheeky Breaky 6045, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. Also, nice username. Sorry. My bottle makes weird noises. Oh, you're welcome. Oh, I forgot what I was talking about. Wish I could predict futures that could reserve hotels from Germany. Explain to. Oh, you're going to Sir Rammstein? Damn. I'm jealous. I was supposed to see them this summer, but the person that had the tickets sold them and asked for a refund actually, because I was supposed to see them 2 years ago, but then they kept on changing the year, and my friend was unsure if they would actually play, and so he asked for a refund. Good night, Soya. Thank you so much again for the raid, and I hope that you'll have a good night of sleep and sweet dreams. Mwah. Good night, kiss. Arkunaska, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How are you? Oh, thank you, Silly. Thank you, Soya. Good night again. Oh, Seasonable Solace. Have a great night of sleep as well, and sweet dreams. Thank you for passing by to say hi. Mwah. Good night. Oh, make scratching. Okay, let me do the headbutt first. Which isn't working because I'm tapped. Oh, okay. I'm doing great, thank you for asking. I'm a bit tired. I went out today. It was a busy day, see my boyfriend. We went out for lunch. I got ramen at my favorite restaurant. So yeah, it was a nice day. Then I read a little bit in the afternoon, and in the evening I'm reading American Psycho because I watched the movie recently and I wanted to read the books. Oh, triggers on request one. Nice. So guys, if you have a request for a trigger and it's something that I can do, I will gladly do it. No points required. Penguin Junior 12-1. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the member gang. How are you? Ramen is so tasty. It's my favorite food. T-Kermy, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the member gang. How you doing? Guys, with my brothers. It's my little bro's birthday. Oh, happy birthday! I hope that you're having cake. And that your bro is getting a lot of gifts. I love cake. Can you save me a slice of cake? Cake is good and tasty. It doesn't like cakes, I mean. I'm a good baker, I make good cakes. Oh, right. My boyfriend's mom got me a surprise gift, and it's a mug, and it's like the cutest thing ever because it has a lid, okay, and the lid has bunny ears, and the mug has like a bunny face, and it's so cute. I'll post the picture on Twitter tomorrow because it's really one of the best things I've ever seen, one of the best mugs I've ever owned, probably the cutest one. Sponge? Depends which sponge, because this the cover that I have right now is made of sponge. If you mean other kind of sponges, like the one that looks like SpongeBob, okay, like the yellow one with a lot of pores. I don't think I have them. But there's no, you motherfucker, come back. There's a mosquito flying around me. It tried to bite me but flew away when I was trying to eat it. Thank you for reminding me to stretch. Yeah, I'm gonna steal the blood that he probably stole from someone else. Have you heard our design? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And you haven't seen the new one yet, which is, well, I mean, you can see the design. I mean, it's on Twitter, and it's also on the stream. It's LGB. But you haven't seen the new model in action. Yeah, free food. Never say no to free food. I hope I can re-debut next year, although I don't have a date yet. But I'm planning things. I love the actual lore I'm writing. Well, not me, like my friends are writing a lore video. They're helping me work on it, and I can't wait to finish everything and to actually have a decent and finished lore, because it took me literally 2 years before settling on something. Can you bully me, Hanzo? Oh, come on, Archie. Why do you want to be bullied every single time? Like, I mean, it's not a bad thing if it makes you happy, but like, wouldn't you rather have a compliment? Ah, there it is. Archie, you're a very good blood bag. Albeit a weird one. I've never seen someone wanting me to bully them as much as you do. But I appreciate your weirdness as I appreciate your tasty blood. Thank you so much for keeping me well fed. Mwah. Ah. Well, plan doesn't work like that. You're the one that has to go to sleep. Alright, Archie. Does your brother want to be complimented or to be bullied? That's my gift for his birthday. Yeah, we'll go to sleep. Okay, Archie's brother, I don't know you, but I'm sure you're a piece of shit. It's your birthday, I'm supposed to be nice, but I don't give a flying fuck, frankly. No, like, I don't even know you. Should I be nice? Nah, fuck that, we're on the internet. The internet is full of shitty people. I'm one of those shitty people. I don't give a flying fuck about other people's sentiments, so fuck you. You're a little bitch. A chica bitch. A virgin. If I'm a yod. And even though I don't know you personally, I bet you are. Also, happy birthday. Brock Nornlane, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the member gang, how are you? Me? Hi Jack. It's usual stuff. People ask me to insult them and they are happy about it, so you know what, I don't judge. I ain't judging. Everybody has their games. You know, I'm all for it. I'm all for a little bit of insulting, like a friendly insulting. I need a little bit of trolling, you know, as they say. Yeah, just a little bit of trolling. Yeah, we're all friends here. As I've always said, I'm allowed to insult you with a redeem, or if you're vulgar. But you guys can insult me for free, all stream. So I think it's a fair exchange. I get to be toxic on request. You get to be toxic for 3 hours straight. Huh? How's that sound? Isn't it a good deal? A very good deal, if you ask me. Let me fix myself on the chair. It shows us paradise? Oh sure. There you are. Do you want me to zoom in? XX X Ramirez and WeatherCoast21, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How are you guys? DBC. I'm sorry for you. Why? Oh, douchebag. Hey, there is alcoholic I've been looking for. One. There is that son of a chick's hand. Good to see ya, bro. How are you? Yeah. That's how we are. We're bros. We're all bros. We're all Sigma males. Chat the Sigma males. Sigma male is a gender neutral term. By the way, we're all Sigma males. Okay? I decided it. You're in the Vampire Gang, therefore you also are a Chad Sigma male. A Sigma potato? Okay, you're a Sigma potato, but everybody else is a Sigma male. Jack is the exception that confirms the rules. I'll be honest, I don't know where this conversation is going. It's taking a kind of a weird turn, but I'm over it. Hold up, I think his camera just ran me on Discord. Why is it always scammers? Like I'm 100% sure that it is a scammer. Just standard way they approach everyone. Oh, Kevin, got the kisses? Alright, here's some kisses for you all. Robert called you to 73. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How are you? Here's your kisses, Kevin. Hope you like them. Hell yeah, if your friend doesn't greet you with an insult, is he a real friend? Like, are you really a friend with them? If you don't greet them the same way. I'm very toxic with my friend, but they're also very toxic with me. That's why our friendship lasted that long. As a friend, I talk with them. I say hello, they say fuck you, and I say no, fuck you. And I say no, fuck you, and I say, friend, please unalive yourself. And they're like, no, you. And I go back, no, you. And that's how the conversation goes. And we're best friends. Yes. Nympho Mike, hello, how you doing? Oh, Valpo, your internet died? Sad. Good night. doing great. I was doing better 5 minutes ago when I didn't receive a message from a almost certainly a scammer on Discord, but maybe they're not. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt until they ask me if they can send me their portfolio, since I haven't written anywhere that I'm looking to hire anybody, so it's a kind of sus. Hello, Minzu. Welcome. How you doing? Sassy Hanzo? What? Why sassy? I'm not sass. You're sass. And Yamago's plush is a cute Volpo. He's sitting on my sofa. With the small Yamagos. Yeah, they are. They're enjoying their stay here. They like their new house. They're hanging out with my sister's plushie from how the fuck is called that character from wait, it's a character from Winnie the Pooh. I'm not sure if it has like the same name. Eeyore, yeah, the mule, the breast one. They're sitting next to him. Do I? A lot of people say that I kinda have an accent going on. Just got up for a sec to say, can you bite us as triggers? Yeah? I'll go grab if I have an apple or something to bite on. Cause I'm unsure how to do that. I need a prompt. To work with the biting stuff. On track, I feel like I got honestly backstabbed by a friend very recently, and the wound is still open, and I don't think it will ever heal. But sometimes you gotta take a step back, look at the situation as if you were not part of it, and take the best decision, which in my case was to completely detach myself from that person. Just have a nice voice. Oh, thank you. You're way too kind. Oh. Sì, posso parlare un po' di italiano. But not too much, because I don't want international viewers to get a bit lost with the conversation. And yes, I do ask permission before biting. I'm not a savage, Why you want my expression go? Oh, right, it's the wrong control. There it is. But yeah, I am very respectful. I like to say that I am an ethical vampire. I only bite after I've been given consent, because consent is key. There it is. It was a scammer. I knew it. I fucking knew it. It's always like that. Hello, Waterman. Welcome, welcome. Oh, so sorry, Drag. Honestly though, better late than never. Like, you got rid of some very toxic people. They just showed the true face. You don't deserve them, and they do not deserve you. You don't deserve their treatment, and they do not deserve to have them around you. Because you're a beautiful person, and they're just mean, and if I could find them, I would not be nice to them. That's all I'm gonna say. I wouldn't be that nice. Nobody mistreat someone in the vampire gang without having consequences. I ain't standing around doing nothing. All I can offer is some moral support as of now, but trust me, if I could, I would give them a lesson that they would not forget. What? Wet Feather, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang, how are you? Oh, Mallory? Are you offering that I take a little bite? A little sip, even? I will love garlic. Hell yeah. Gimme. Where's garlic? Garlic is like, it gives so much taste to food. Yeah, Billies usually have things going on in their lives, and like they're suffering, they're going through something, and they are unable to deal with it, and so they're sort of on hurting others because they are hurting themselves, which is absolutely stupid. But unfortunately, those people take very bad decisions, and I'm sorry that it happened to you. No, Waterman. I'm Italian. I can't be scared of vampires. Of garlic, I mean. I'm Italian and we put garlic everywhere. I love garlic, like, are you kidding? I wouldn't live without garlic. Horny cat? Volpo? Are you okay? Cat makes me horny? You mean Umi? Are we talking about Umi? Oh, yes, spaghetti with garlic, hot pepper, and oil. Best way of making spaghetti. I love them. They're called aglio, olio e peperoncino in Italian. But I love biting. I love drinking blood. Okay, I'll give you a bite. Give you a little bite, Mallory. Just because you asked so nicely. Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready? Here I come. Tasty. Very tasty. Thank you for the little snack. I'm hungry for real though. No, I'm not a demon, I'm a vampire. Can't you see the teeth? Huh? Archie? No, I'm pretty sure I was biting Mallory. Might have been someone else. Maybe it's Volpo. He's always horny. Hello, oh yeah, let's go to sleep. My job here is done. I'm a great vampire. Oh yeah. I don't know whether, man. If you want, I can bite you too. And can I only bite people that tell me they want to be turned into vampires? I mean, I bite people, and that's it. But if you want to be turned into a vampire, I can also do that. You know, I usually do not turn people into vampires because I would be losing food, since they are willing to feed me on their own accord. So turning those people into vampires would be not a good thing, because then I would have to find someone that wants to donate their blood to me, Alright, here I come. Water Vampire Man. That's gonna be your name. Tasty. Now, when you'll wake up tomorrow, you'll be fully turned into a vampire. You're welcome. Hello Ash, welcome. How you doing? Well, let me get back a little bit. Whoop. The absolute, with no doubt, scammer on Discord just told me to recommend them to my friends if they needed work done, as if I would not recognize someone that's scamming, and I saw it. Well, but they're feeding me a lot. It's not my fault. I'm just drinking. Would you say no to free food? I don't think so. Free food, like everybody else does. Well, you're a water man. So you're also a man. Oh, thank you, Nix. You're so kind. Mwah. Oh, come on, Bobo. Why no food? Why no food? Oh, Bobo. I hate you. You're not feeding me. Why are you refusing to feed your queen, by the way? Huh? Do you think you can refuse? Huh? Do you think I ask before biting because I actually care? I'm doing it just to be nice. Okay? If I was really hungry and I really wanted to sip some blood, do you think I would ask for permission? I would fucking bite you and suck you dry. I would suck all the blood inside your fucking veins, and you would be unable to say no, because I'm too strong for you. I just realized that sounded without context. Fuck you all, but you made me say that. You're at fault here. Hello, bitch. Fucking... Jesus Christ. Taysak and me79. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the member gang. How are you? I don't know if it worked like that, Jack. Like, what are even like under the vampires? I think. I'm not sure. Hello, Jing. Welcome. How you doing? Mike Duval, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the vampire gang. Hi, Azurid. Hello. Don't worry, Nix. I was just letting Volpa knows to never deny me a sip when I'm very hungry, just because I drank a little bit of blood before. No, Volpa, it's your fault. You made me say it. It's all your fault. It wouldn't have happened if you just give me your blood. But see, you're 25% man. So, Waterman can be a vampire. I'm not horny, Volpo, come on. I'm the most sexy thing that exists on this planet. You're the horny one. My first crush? I think it was Android 18 from Dragon Ball. Yeah, I think it was her. My first ever crush. And James from Pokemon too. Cat? Oh. Oh, that's so uncanny looking. It's so weird to look at. Yeah, just from Pokemon. Okay, look, I was like 5. I was 5. Don't judge me. Hello, Demon. Welcome. Okay, Android 18 is actually top tier rifle. Okay. I'm not accepting any other opinion about that. Waterman, can you like use the other fonts? Cause it's like text is small, and I'm having difficulty reading it. I'm blind as fuck in real life. Like I wear glasses and I'm missing half my sight basically in each eye. Out of 10, I miss like 5 dioptries. How the fuck are they called? But I'm very blind. Not legally blind, but still very blind. Hello, Ruben. Welcome. Thank you for the definition of law track. Very informative. Lemons. Oh, Jing, your cat is so cute. He's adorable. Yeah, if I remove my glasses, I can't read chat, and I'm not that far from the monitor. Like, it's all too blurry. I can barely read my logo, which is like 10 times bigger than chat text. Yeah, I'm a vampire, but now I'm talking about real life Hanzo right now. Real life Hanzo has a very bad side. Oh, let me close the window because it's starting to get pretty chilly. I'll also grab a snack because I'm getting hungry. When I'll be back, I'll bully you, Jink. Don't worry. I'll be there. I'm grabbing food. Okay, I don't know what the fuck this is, but it's like shaped sort of like a pretzel, but it's not really a pretzel, and this one's like pizza. Okay, Jink, how dare you ask me for bullying before I take a bite of my food? That's so disrespectful. Like, don't you have some consideration for your queen? She's about to get a very tasty bite from whatever this pizza flavor thing is, and you're delaying my snack. What the fuck? Fuck you. I love you, Jink. Mwah. Okay, let's try it. Let's try this snack. Well, this. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good snack. No, I'm not eating my cat. I will never eat there. Oh, no, I debunk. What did I do? No, I'm not eating cats. Give you guys that weird idea. I have no idea why, but this snack, it's teeny tiny spicy. Not that I mind it, but I didn't expect it. Purple. Come on. No horny. Do I have to bonk you with the horn? No horny means Volpo. Olaf Krieger 1, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire King. How are you? No, thank you for reminding me to stretch and drink. I'll finish this last piece of whatever this snack is, which I like a lot actually. Need to tell my mom to buy them again. No, it's not skin, it's like a pizza flavored crunchy snack thing. Okay, I'll look on the internet if I can find a picture of what I'm eating. Maybe I know how it's called. Oh, what? Oh. I think I don't think they're called. They look like. Okay. Okay, I have found the sort of explanation. So they are shaped like torcetti, which is like an Italian snack. They're sort of shaped like torcetti, but they are pizza flavored. It's like the closest description that I can give. Volpo, stop being horny, come on. A short track. I love hearing jokes. Yeah, Waterman can't be wet because he's made of water, and water can't be wet. Everything that is pizza flavored is usually very good. Croccantelle? There might be. Let me look. Gerigor 1159, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang, how are you? No, they're not those. They're not croccantelle, they have a completely different shape. You know what? I go check the box. And I'll tell you. I'll BRB. Because they're really tasty. If you're like live in Italy and you want to try them out, I recommend them, but I need to check how they're called first. So you guys are very unlucky because my mom moved them in a different box than the original, and I just realized, and she already threw away the box and it's not here anymore, and I don't know where she put it. If it's like outside, probably, maybe. So long story short, I don't know how they're called, and I'll probably never know. But maybe if I look at snack alla pizza, No, I will never find them. Snack pomodoro. Maybe like that? Because they were like semi artisanal made, I think. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're selling them everywhere, but whatever they are, I need to know. Because I need to be able to find them again one day when they'll be finished. Because they're gonna go fast, trust me. The kids from Chernobyl are smart because 2 heads is more than 1. Okay, that was funny. That was a funny one. I like that joke. I wish I had 2 heads. Maybe one of them would work. Look at me now, I'm stuck with one and it doesn't really do its job. You know, toads. Head empty. Sure you can, Jink. Thank you so much for passing by. And have a good night of sleep and sweet dreams. And I'll see you next time. Good night, Jink. Bye bye. Sleep well. Glove triggers? Oh, sure. Can do a little bit of glove trigger. Tickles and coffee in the press. I think it's done already. Here are some gloves triggers. Damn, I haven't put this glove in a box for like the whole week and it smells weird. Well, but come on, don't be too aggressive. Be nice with people. You already talked about that. Not stopping. No stopping. Can't go around and stop people. You're gonna waste your blood. Hello, Gamer Wolf. How you doing? Text empty. Hello. Thank you so much for the watermelon. I bet it is very tasty and juicy and refreshing, given how temperatures have been recently. Do you want to ask the welcome? How you doing? Archie, goodbye. Don't drink too much. Take care of yourself. And happy birthday again to your brother. I'll see you next time. Mwah. Ooh, strawberry cake. My favorite. I'll gladly eat that one. In one bite. Hello, Foxy Nut Fox. Welcome, welcome. Hydrate. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the member gang. How are you? Walpo, you're not allowed to say that. You're the one that should be going to sleep. Walpo sass. Sassy baka. Murderer is taking a woman within the forest. Woman says, "It is so dark in this forest, I am scared." To which Murderer replies, "And what can I say? You will be going back alone." Okay, that's a nice one. I will recycle it if I'll ever have the chance to. This doesn't imply that I'll be using it if I'm murdering someone. Please don't misunderstand me. I mean the joke nonetheless it is. No, Alba. You're very sassy, Walpo. And I guess Walpo is very sus. Oh, my hand is starting to sweat in that glove. Goddamn. I really like when I cover the mic with the microphone and then move things laterally around. Makes up for a very good trigger in my opinion. I think it's one of my favorites so far. Do the mic scratching that Taiji requested 30 minutes ago and that I have seen just now because I was probably grabbing his neck when he redeemed it. Maybe for lunch I had a little discussion with a female friend of mine. At the end of the discussion I say, "Go back in the kitchen. No, wait, you don't know how to cook. I'll go, it's better." Honestly, I would be happy. Because like I'm lazy. So if someone decided to cook for me, instead of making me cook, go for it. And don't expect me to wash the dishes. Because I'm bad at it too. And thank you for reminding me to drink. Truth is, I like cooking. I really like cooking, but I don't do it often, so I'm still kinda bad. But I'm learning. I'm better at baking. I'm better at making cakes, which is usually is harder than regular cooking. But I don't know, I've done more cakes than meat. So there's that. I'm doing some mic without the mic scratching, without the cover, so you can hear a different texture. There's also the love command, by the way. You type exclamation mark love and you text someone, let's say Volpo, and it gives you a percentage of how much we're compatible. It changes every time you do that. So if you keep on spamming the same person, you'll get different results, I believe. Don't worry, Aki, you can have him. He's too horny for me. It's the truth though, Volpo. You're always horny. Oh, thank you for and your soulmate being. Now, Alba, it's a lie. You're the most horny person I've ever seen. There's no one that can beat you on that front, I'm afraid. Unexpected. Somebody wants Volpo. Oh. Is this one another scammer again? Bruh, why do I keep getting messages from scammers? Can't believe it. Again. This time on Twitter, like, I got 2 DMs from scammers. It's so weird. Oh wait, sorry. I need to reply to Nizzy. She sent me a funny sticker. Yeah, you can get the apps on Twitter. Keep them open because if there's a commissioner that wants to order a commission, it's actually easier to contact me through Twitter first. Problem is, it's full of scammers. Like, there are a lot of scammer accounts that keep on coming back, and now people are starting to like DM me saying, "Hello, I'm an artist. I'm looking for clients. May I assist you in some way? Can you order a commission from me?" And you look at the account and they're like, it's so obvious it's not their stuff that they're advertising. It's pathetic actually. Hello Day846. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the member gang. How are you? No, Volbo, I wouldn't let anybody kill you. Stumpy! Thank you so much for the sub! Hello! Nino, can I have a shout out for Stumpy? Hello there! Hello! How you doing? I just said that I work for a company and the supposed company was internet service play. Sure, Karen, sure. I'm doing good, Sambi. Thank you for asking. How about you? Paris Turke, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How are you? I'm glad to hear that. Happy to hear that. Did you go on vacation this summer? I haven't. I've been recluded into my little house. Never went out once. Oh, thank you for reminding me to stretch. Okay, let me also put back the mic cover. Oh, nice. Which game make you? I'm still waiting for Bloodborne on PC. It's making me extremely sad that they haven't ported it to PC already. Actually, let me send a message to one of my friends. Because I need to finish repairing that PS4. Because there was a component that needed to be changed and I still need to pay for them cleaning it too. Because I left it to a friend that works in the place that where they fixed my phone problems on the PS4, and he lended him my console because he also needed it while his PC was like unusable. And I need to remember, I keep on forgetting to ask them if they can like bring it back to finish the work so I can pay and bring it back home. Hanzo, drink your blood, I will eat the rest of it. Oh no, come on, AQ, be nice. We're not eating them, we're just drinking a little sip. Oh, you're fighting for Volpo? Oh, that's so cute. That's adorable. Oh, Foxy, come on, don't say that. Well, you got a 22% at least. If Hanzo drink all my blood, I'm already dead, then you can have my corpse to eat. No, guys, I'm not drinking all of your blood. Just taking a sip. It's like when you go to get, like, to donate your blood. I take as much as they would take in those instances, Ah, there it is. Now you got a high result. See, told you. The bot is rigged. Don't look at its results. Sometimes it's stupid. Volpo, fuck you. You're so mean, Volpo. Kuraimasho, welcome. How you doing? He's mistaking my word. I told him that I would suck all of the blood in his body until he's dead, if he doesn't feed me willingly when I'm hungry, just because other people let me take a sip. It was an intimidation tactic. I'm not gonna follow through with that threat, but I'm doing great, Ikura. Thank you for asking. Guys, I wanna play Bloodborne. I wanna play Bloodborne so bad. Wait, I gotta say goodnight to Nizzy. If you want, you can have it all. No. I'm not gonna kill any of you. Like, I'm not sure why you're under the impression that I want you dead. I am, actually. So I have some news for you. One of my friends, she works as a game developer. She went to Gamescom and she met the devs of Lies of P and got to try the game herself. Now, she told me that she did not have the heart to tell them that the game is basically a reskin of Bloodborne. Like, it's the same thing, like to a T, the same thing she told me. But the devs were so nice, she didn't have the heart to tell them that. And I'm like, I hope that there were some differences, but compared to like Still Rising, honestly it looks much better and I think it plays much better. So, maybe this story is worth. I will probably buy it regardless because I'm a sucker for Bloodborne, and if the gameplay is the same of Bloodborne, honestly, it's not really a bad thing. I mean, I love Bloodborne, and if I had to get a game with like almost identical gameplay, I wouldn't mind, honestly. Like, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. It's a bit sad because I hoped that Lies of P would try to like have its own identity, but apparently they copied Bloodborne way of playing, which again, not completely bad thing. I like that kind of gameplay. It's like Souls likes in general, you know, they have their own kind of gameplay. But you know, like it's not that bad. Again, it's better than Still Rising. I don't like the atmosphere of that game. Like, I don't know, doesn't really look that good, but Lies of P looks much better, in my opinion. But I'll wait for them to come out. I hope that they'll have a free beta to play before I decide if it's worth my money, you know. But I'm very excited regardless. Hello pizza! Doing great! Thank you for asking. Oh yeah, Demon, you should try. Volpo, come on. No sex during a live stream, regardless. Come on, you know they're gonna... They're gonna ban me if any of you misbehave, so no thanks during a live stream, okay? So now I'm waiting for my friend to see the message. I wonder if it still has a terrible sleepy schedule of it, or if he fixed it. I hope he fixed it. Congrats, Nino. I don't know what you won, but you won. Yay. Senior Masfort. How many names do you have, kid? Those are a shit lot of names. I'm still hungry. I wonder if I should grab another snack. I'm tempted. A little things. No, just say that you have shit lot means a lot of name. It's slang, basically. So my fifth. No, you're stealing my identity. You can't. It's against the law. You can't steal a vampire's identity. Come on. That's all I have left. I'll come back, Kevin. No, you can't have it. It's mine. It's my name. It's my name. You can't have my name. I claimed it. No, it's mine. Grrr. Don't touch my name. It's my name. No, I don't want to share. It's my name. Why do I have to share? Give me one good reason. Second name is I'm always at work when I'm streaming. You're watching my live stream at work? Please don't get distracted. Volpo? What the fuck? Wolpo, why are you like that? Oh, Victor, grr. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How you doing? Oh. Oh, I'll do some tapping. I haven't done tapping tonight. Oh, from Brazil? Nice. Welcome, welcome. And from Italy. Greetings. Yes, Volpo. Okay, you can have Italian. You're allowed to have that name. Volpo, we all know that you are unable to be say so. Oh no, my PC got backed. Help. Help. Let's just run and remove a notification. Okay, fixed it. Scatman. Scatman. Chapadapa. Padapa. Padapa. And the Scatman. My favorite Italian food? Pizzoccheri. I love pizzoccheri. They're my favorite. As well as pizza, but we're not counting that because it's obviously one of the best foods ever. I don't trust you, Volpo. Like, no, I don't think you can actually go 1 week without being horny at least once. You're gonna sleep immediately. Yeah, with who? With AQ or with me? I wouldn't make a deal for non-at November. It's not good for your health. No, guys, but like, serious note, please don't do non-at November. It's actually really bad for your health, and it makes your chances of getting cancer higher actually, because you shouldn't be holding back on natural urges. It's like, when do you wake up and you decide you're not gonna pee for 1 month? That's not feasible. You're just gonna be mean with your body. Like, you're not treating your body correctly, because it's a physiological need. You just can't ignore it. No, it's actually damaging to your health. Like, I'm not kidding. So there are, when that joke that about the challenge came out, there were some researchers and some actually serious article that detailed why it was a dangerous challenge to partake in, because it's not healthy for your body. Yeah, Jack is right. Yeah, you're also minor, but what I'm saying is that if you're horny and you feel the need to relieve yourself, you shouldn't be ignoring that, because then your balls will end up hurting and it's not healthy. You gotta relieve the pain somehow, and they injecting themselves like they injecting themselves overnight. Actually, no. You're risking to actually how can I say? Yeah, you're risking of jizzing while you sleep because your body can't do it anymore. Like it can't stand the situation anymore. And that's something that happened to some people that were doing that challenge, by the way. Like, you don't have control over your body when you're sleeping. So again, it's like wetting your bed. Like if you're not peeing for the whole day and then you go to bed, your body will try to relieve itself. And that's gonna happen. And you're gonna wake up with dirty sheets and a dirty pajama. Not necessarily, like you don't need one. It's a literal your body giving up because you're sleeping and your resistance. Like it's not a conscious resistance, like you're not consciously holding it in. Let's put it like that. So it just happens. It happens without you having control because your body can't keep it anymore. We're intended to live by this way by nature, like animals were supposed to be mating all the time. Yeah, basically, it's like another thing. Well, Jesse, thank you so much for contributing to the totem. I actually don't know if it keeps track on Cult of the Lamb when I'm not playing, but I think it does. But again, that's besides the point. Like we're talking about like physiological reactions of your body. Like social norms put aside. Like personally, like sex is not a bad thing. Okay, as long as consent is given, it's not a bad thing, it's natural. There are some people that like it, there are some people that don't like it. I don't, I'm asexual again, like, but that's just me being me. I'll make you an example. My boyfriend has a really high sexual drive, and that's a problem for him because he's all the time horny, but I'm not. And he ends up spending the whole day with his balls that are actually hurting. Like he's in pain for the whole day. Like that's an actual problem, and he's not the only one having that problem around the world. That's why that I'm saying that you guys gotta take care of yourselves. Carlos, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Vampire Gang, how are you? Like you gotta, the point is, you gotta relieve your body. You just can't ignore it, because it's not gonna end up nicely. No, I'm never horny. Bubble please. You know what's the problem? The lack of sexual education in school. That's the whole problem. We wouldn't have this discussion right now if education cared about these problems. Like I can't be your teacher. My experiences are bad and scarce. Like can only give you advice regarding your health, such as use a condom to avoid getting any kind of like illness or whatever, bacteria, viruses, that kind of stuff. And that's cool too, Vicky. Like, if you don't want a girlfriend, that's totally okay. One of my best friends, he doesn't want to get married as far as I know. He has no interest in relationships. He do be getting laid, that is true, but like, doesn't want to be in a relationship, doesn't want to commit, and that's fine, And it's like, you're definitely too young regardless, so yeah, they are. I had sexual education at elementary school, but it was more like, oh, the body of a girl is different from the one of the boy. Don't talk to people that you don't know, because there might be pedophiles and they might molest you. That was the only sex ed that I had at school. And it went sort of like this, So it wasn't really the best one. I mean, it's okay if you explain it to kid that way. The problem is, you should be doing it to teenagers. Like, you should be giving sexual education to teenagers about more serious things. But the school doesn't do that for some reason. And it's a shame, because we wouldn't have as many problems as we have if they cared about educating young teens better. You're welcome, Jack. I'm always here to spread knowledge. Like, I think there's, at least here in Italy, these things are seen still as like a topic that only adults should discuss. Problem is, teenagers are stupid, teenagers are growing up, they are full of hormones, and they will not take thoughtful decisions, alright? And you need to educate teenagers, but you're not gonna get anything done by ignoring the topic and pretending there's nothing to talk about, because then you get 16 years old putting themselves in a very bad position where they have a kid at 16 and they get their lives are ruined because they were not educated on the matter. That's what happens. And it's not their fault. It's the system failing's fault. Because we're not doing anything to fix a broken system. And you can't really blame people. Like, you can't blame teenagers that have zero knowledge about this stuff or very limited knowledge because their parents refuse to, like, have a discussion with them, or like they are embarrassed to talk about it, and school won't do anything to teach those people, those teens, how to behave in these situations and how to prevent stuff from happening, like that's the point. Yeah, it's 2 a.m. Seisu means pure in Japanese, I believe, if I remember correctly, but it should be. is perverted. No. He's a perv. You're giving Volpa. You're saying Volpa is a perv. We can dice. A little bit. Yes, you should have lasagna. You should definitely have them. What? What? You're horny, Volpa. That's not a new thing. Volpa is going to bed early. Wow, incredible. Sleepy. Oh, as expected from one of my best minions. Nice, Ruben. No, it's okay, Iggy. It's random, so it's a matter of trying. At least you didn't get the 0%. So that the cloud figure of L27 was on sale in the dress outfit and I didn't buy it. Extremely say so. I can confirm. I would have given it. That's actually a nice... That's a nice figurine. Not gonna lie. I want to eat a lasagna too, damn. But I don't have any. No lasagna for Hanzo. Oh, by the way, since I have 1 hour left, I'll make a quick poll. Because I want to know if you guys maybe, since I'm eager to start reading that story and I wanted to share the moment with you, I wanted to ask, it's an horror story and I'll make a quick 5 minutes poll. You can vote if you want me to start reading you that book. Gregory. No. Thank you for reminding me to drink, Kevin. Okay, you can. Feel free to vote in the poll. It's a horror book. It's not too long, I think it's like less than 200 pages, so you shouldn't take a lot of time to finish reading the story. Alright, I'll read you once more the copy pasta. Once more. Gregory, do you see the small vent on the floor? Have you ever heard of Among Us? Gregory. You need to vent. I know it will be hard for you to be sus, but I know you can do it, Gregory. There you are. Happy? And Wakey, water is not wet, because water makes things wet, but water itself can't be wet. It's science. Don't forget to vote in the poll if you haven't. Yeah, I love copy pastas as well. Unfortunately, there are a lot of them that I can't read on stream. Okay, I read you one of my favorite copy pasta that came out of Evo this year. It's Leffen, sorry, not Leffen. It's shit, I forgot its fucking name. It's another, well, the guy that lost against Leffen in a Zato mirror match. No matter how much of other player I strive, it doesn't matter, unfortunately. I don't care what anybody says or think. I am the best at this game by far. No one comes even close. Screw the mirror match and their piece, and good luck to everyone in top 8. Fucking magical moment. Andy454, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the member gang, how are you? No, not the Vaporon copy pasta. Not that one. Okay, and I'll read you another famous Guilty Gear copy pasta while we're at it. Help my wins. I'm a my main, and she's just so fun. People get so trolled by the dolphin, and their voice lines are so cute, like when she says, "Charge!" LOL. She's super random but also smarter than she looks, just like me. XD. I fucking hate my... Ruben! Let's go! Thank you so much for the sub! Nice! And JD Kitty Mods! Thank you, thank you! Obviously, copy pasta is my favorite. Well, it's a classic. Oh fuck. You know what's also good? The ninja copy pasta. Do you guys remember that one? Okay, I'll read it to you because it's funny as fuck. The fuck you say to me, you little shit? Ha 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 ha. How are you not in fucking school? You kiss your mother with the mouth. It's called you kiss your mother with that fucking mouth? Huh? Huh? Why are you so... Because the fucking youth of... Shut up when I'm talking to you. You shut your mouth. Love that fucking copy pasta. Yeah, it is ninja. It's the infamous ninja copy pasta. But let's read something of actual value, shall we? You know. Oh wait, Kevin, I didn't know you read hands. Which one do I send? I want my hand to be red. My money don't jiggle jiggle. It falls. I like to see you wiggle wiggle. For sure. Like I don't find the book anymore. It was on the drive. That's a wrong drive. I have too many emails. Oh, there it is. Pen Pal by Dathan Oberbach. Okay. Oh, Nuggetman tweets, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire King, how are you? We're about to start reading a book called Pen Pal. It is a horror story. I have no idea what the story actually is about. I'm doing great, thank you for asking. So yeah, without further ado, let's start reading the first chapter, which is called Memories. When I was younger, I took a job at a deli that had what the owner called an ice cream buffet. On Thursdays, children would get a free ice cream cone with their meals, and they could pick any one of the 15 flavors we had. There were many times when a child had some understandable degree of difficulty selecting their preferred scoop, but eventually each kid would happily make their choice. When the mom or dad urged them along, except that is for one little girl. She couldn't have been more than 6, and when their father picked her up so that she could see through the glass, her face lit up as her eyes moved all over the different kinds of ice cream that were on display. When her dad asked her which flavor she wanted, she must have ignored the fact that he was not speaking but a plurality of scoops, as she excitedly named some and pointed to others. Gradually, the realization began to set in that she could only choose one kind of ice cream, and as I watched her try to pick just one flavor, I could see how anxious she was becoming. It wasn't greed that beset her, it was the result of wanting many things equally, but not having the emotional resources to settle arbitrarily on just one. As the anxiety consumed her, she began to cry. There was no tantrum. She didn't yell or pout. She simply could not choose. As her father was comforting her, I cocked his eye and made a gesture. He nodded, and after a few seconds, leaned over the counter and called to her as I extended my hand. The little girl looked up to see me holding a cone towering with 5 different scoops of ice cream. Her mood was transformed instantly, and I can say with all sincerity that I have never seen another human being in such a state of pure jubilation. The father thanked me, and saw to it that the girl did as well. They left, and we all moved on with our lives. That was years ago, though my mind returns to that day for different reasons now and again. Most of the time, I just think about how happy she was, but sometimes I think about how, despite her seemingly limitless joy that day, in all likelihood, she probably doesn't remember me or the ice cream. This doesn't bother me. As children, we have terrific and terrible times, events that, as we experience them, seem to be the most important things that have ever happened to us. But more often than not, we forget them. Truth to tell, at any point in our lives, we've forgotten more than we know about our own history. The world moves on, and so do we. And what was once important fades away. But that's just the nature of memory. The events of our lives unfold linearly, but in the mental reel of these past experiences, most of the frames that haven't been completely stolen by time are left distorted and blurred by it. When you try to reconstruct the series, you find that it isn't complete, but maybe this never really bothers you, because you can't miss what you don't remember. Oh, thank you for reminding me to drink Demon Eye. We all have voids in our narratives, lost time that we attempt to reclaim with best guesses. Most people have whole parts of their stories that they don't realize are patchworks of guesswork, and those who do realize it aren't likely to care. We want so badly to be happy, to live the kinds of lives that we always hoped we'd live, that we give gifts to ourselves by remembering things not as they were, but as we wish they were. Ah, yeah, it is. It's, when you think about older times, like you're reminiscing events that you may not remember exactly like they were, but the sensations they made you feel, the good memories, that's all that matters, even though you may be misremembering some details. Our loved ones pass away or simply live our lives forever too soon, and we think to ourselves, I wasn't ready for you to live. It just wasn't time, because it's never truly ready, because it's never truly time. So we keep them in our memories. And when we regret that we don't have more memories of them, maybe our minds give us more gifts. Gradually, we find ourselves remembering them, being with us in times and places that they couldn't have been, and gradually, we stop correcting ourselves because, well, we want them to have been there. Some memories slip away through the cracks of our minds, but leave fibers behind so that we know there's something missing. But it isn't all bad. In fact, if we remembered every detail of every day, we might find ourselves so fixated on the past that most of our memories would be of us just sitting in a dark room thinking about all of our yesterdays, to focus on what was to care and all about what will be. And what of bad things? What of those things that you would wish had never happened if we could remember them? Sometimes forgetting is the gift that we give ourselves, and when we do, it's back to the void, and it's time for more guesses toward a better life. Tutorial1, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang, how are you? Oh, also... Oh shit, I wrote reading. Okay, I put a little info so people know what we're reading and they come in. I'm glad to hear that, Jack. Now I've grown up reading horror stories directly. But sometimes you realize that the memories were always there. You just needed to be reminded. When this happens, it offers a previously lacked context for memories that, while never missing, were never understood. This is a special kind of gift. Our lives are so short that it seems a crime to squander any of it by forgetting. Memories extend our lives backward through time, making them feel longer. And that's what we want. So we try to remember. But sometimes, when we do, we wish that we could just forget again. But I remember. I'm doing good, thank you for asking. Hope you had a relaxing day. Oh, Ruben, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope that you'll find a job super soon. I'm sure you'll be able to. Hang in there. Mwah. The story that I'm about to tell you is a product of my own mental archaeology. Of course, like all critics, how the artifacts fits together in a timeline is about as immediately clear as which things are important and which are not. Some parts of this story I have always remembered, others were buried deeply, and some I simply never knew about and have only recently discovered. As is often the case, remembering one thing helps you remember another, and as you learn new things about your whole life, memories that you thought were insignificant, or at the very least irrelevant, parts of your overall story are suddenly its foundation. I began reconstructing and transcribing parts of this story on my own, and when I eventually and inevitably had questions, I turned to the only other person who could claim any amount of expertise concerning my history. My mother. Over the course of several weeks, my mother and I had a series of increasingly strained conversations, and it was through these talks that the importance of some forgotten, ignored, or never known childhood events became clear. Looking back, these events all seem to fit so squarely that I can hardly believe they required reassembly at all. But what we notice in our lives, particularly as children, is so extraordinarily selective and contextualized that something ostensibly benign or self-contained can be transformed by a single detail into something terrible and pervasive. You just have to know what you're looking for, and when you do, suddenly it's all you can see. Timberhawk1, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang, how are you? Oh, you're feeling tingles, Nugget, that's a good thing. It means that you're relaxing. Here, I've tried to preserve both my thoughts and experiences of my early life, as well as the gradual influx of new information, so that you might learn of these events as I experienced them. Parts of this story were written before I knew what I know now, all of which you will know by the end of this story, but I've kept the chapters as they were originally written. To the best of my ability, I have avoided contaminating my old memories with new revelations, and I've tried to be as faithful to the past as was possible when extrapolating from my earliest memories. What I offer to you here is a combination of what I remember, what I've learned about my past from my mother, and what seems most likely. Though my guesswork was restricted to gaps that are ultimately unimportant. If I was successful in all of this, then you will understand how, and I understood then. And the pieces of my history will fall into place for you in very much the same way that they have only recently done for me. Now beginning the middle, and little learn the beginning. The end will take care of itself. Harlan Ellison. Chapter 2. Footsteps. In a quiet room, if you press your ear against the pillow, you can hear your heartbeat. As a 6-year-old boy, the muffled, rhythmic beats sounded like soft footsteps on a carpeted floor. And so, as a kid, almost every night, just as I was about to drift off to sleep, I would hear these footsteps, and I would be ripped back to consciousness, terrified. For my entire childhood, I lived with my mother in a fairly nice and extremely rural neighborhood that was in a transitional phase. People of lower economic means they were gradually moving in. My mother and I were two of these people. Those that spend any amount of time driving on interstate highways will see half houses traveling alongside them. It's an odd sight if you let yourself think about it. Two halves of a house built somewhere miles away from where it becomes a home. Everything about those structures has a feeling of impermanence. The wood of one stem is cut where it isn't used and assembled where it doesn't stay. The most permanent things about those houses are the concrete support columns that they rest on, but even those seem transitory in a way. My mother and I lived in one of these houses, but she took good care of it. As a kid, I always thought our house was quite nice. Even Gavelog, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. Welcome to the member gang. How are you? Hello, Cree. Good evening. Evening. Oh, nice, Ruben. Happy to hear that. I have finger crossed for you and your future job that you will definitely get. Aye, aye. As I sit here and think about my old home and all the things in it, an amusing and pleasant conflict builds in my mind. I know now that we were poor, but had you asked me then, I would have had no idea I could have prompted the question. My mother must have had so little money to spend, but I never remember her saying the words that tend to become the mantra of some parents when they try to subdue their children's eager shopping. We can't afford it. I don't remember wanting for much. I even had a bunk bed despite being an only child. I'm sure that this is the case for many children in low-income homes, but as a boy, despite being greedy, I thought my home was as close to a palace as one could hope for. To me, the support columns under the house didn't represent what the house actually was, an imported structure on a makeshift foundation, but what it could be. I remember asking my mother if we could make the columns taller, so our house would tower all over the others. Part of my love for the house stemmed from my general love for the area surrounding it. The neighborhood itself was relatively large in proportion to the town itself. Small towns lack many of the luxuries of larger towns or cities. But few stores there are closed down early. Traveling events don't stop there because the problem is your small dot on the map, and there aren't many police or hospitals at your disposal. But to a kid, those things don't matter because small towns often provide a luxury that can't be found in larger, more convenient, or populated places. Freedom. Of course, I had rules to follow. I had a lot of them, in fact. But I didn't notice any of them restricting me because I was allowed to do the one thing a kid in a relatively remote area likes to do: explore. Just a short walk from a back porch, this dense and untamed wilderness that I spent some part of an early every day surveying. These woods and waterways surrounding the neighborhood were my playground during the day, but at night, as things often do in the mind of a child, they would take on a more sinister feeling. Thank you, Ruben. Hope that you'll enjoy the emotes. The apparent change in the very nature of the trees and the lake, I think, was mostly my fault. One of my mother's rules was that I could explore the woods on the condition that I would be home before dark. To motivate my speedy return, I would play games in my mind while leaving the woods at dusk. My feet moved more quickly when I imagined that they were carrying me away from cows and beasts. When I would dream, the footsteps would belong to these pursuers. Sometimes I'd pretend that a hideous or ravenous wolf was charging through the woods just behind me. I'd imagine what would happen if I stumbled or fell and it caught up with me, but when I concentrated too hard on keeping my balance, it would always seem to ensure that I lost it. Other times, I'd convince myself that there was an enormous clutter of spiders descending from the trees above and blanketing the earth behind, and that I was always inches away from being ensnared in a collective web, or simply overwhelmed by their numbers and tackled by the sheer weight of their individually weightless bodies. The thing I imagined the most, I think, was that if I didn't make it home before the sun went down, my mother would be gone, that everyone would be gone, and that I'd be all alone. I always made it back home the quickest when I played the game. It didn't take long for these games to become a reflex, and the fear would appear without any effort at all. Some nights I would still spill into the house so frantically that it would startle my mother. But it was the winter on the first grade of elementary school. So I tried to compose myself and pretend that I was merely worried about getting home too late. The things I imagined in the woods just before nightfall created a feeling of general uneasiness in me when the sun retired. My home offered a refuge from these terrors, but the architecture of my house came to sabotage my feelings of security. Oh, bye, Jack. Thank you so much for coming tonight. And have a good evening. And if you're going to bed, have a good sleep. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Mwah. The concrete stilts that raised my house above the earth left a void just below the entirety of the floor of my home. Gradually, my mind came to fill this crawl space with imaginary monsters and inescapable scenarios, and they would consume my thoughts whenever I was awoken by the footsteps. Nice, Siras. Siras is very cute. I told my mom about the footsteps, and she said that I was just imagining things. This seemed an appropriate accusation given my tactics for making curfew, but I persisted enough that she blasted my ears with water from a turkey buster was just to placate me, since I insisted that it would help. Of course, it didn't. The footsteps continued the night, but I tried my best to ignore them, just like always. Despite the general eeriness that the games and footsteps would cast over the nighttime neighborhood, my life was a quiet one. I had adventures by myself, or more often, with my best friend Josh. But I suppose every kid has their adventures. The only other noteworthy events that I can remember happening were the occasions where I would wake up on the bottom bunk despite having gone to sleep on the top. This would only happen every now and again, but it was a little strange since I'd sometimes get up to use the bathroom or get something to drink and could remember just going back to sleep on the bottom bunk. This would happen frequently enough to remember, but infrequently enough to dismiss. In itself, waking up on the bottom bunk never really bothered me, but one night, toward the end of winter in first grade, I didn't wake up on the bottom bunk. I had heard the footsteps, but was too far gone to be woken up by them. When I awoke, it wasn't from the sound of footsteps, but a feeling of biting cold and violent shivering. As I opened my eyes, declenching what I expected to see, what I had nearly always seen when I woke up in a place other than the top bunk, and what I actually saw frustrated my senses, and my mind tried to reconcile my expectations with actuality. I saw, or rather, my mind showed me, the red, cylindrical bars that supported the mattress of the top bunk. But beyond those, I saw stars. Gradually, the bars melted away and faded from my vision, and I was left with only those floating points of light and the jagged, crossing limbs of the tall trees that arched across them high up in the sky. I was in the woods. I shouldn't be here, I thought. The coupling of the woods with darkness was something I had trained myself to avoid. I sat up immediately and tried to make sense of where I was. I thought I was dreaming, but it didn't seem right, though neither did me being in the woods. My eyes were slowly adjusting to the limited light, and gradually the trunks of trees and the shapes of overgrown bushes began to take form. I scanned over the foliage without really focusing on any of it, as I searched for something I might recognize, something that might give me some indication of where I was. An unnatural shape caught my eyes, and I looked at it for what felt like a very long time, until I could finally discern what it was. About 10 feet in front of me, resting among a mass of tangled sticks and loose leaves, there was a deflated pool afloat that was shaped like a shark. Even after I understood what it was, I continued looking at it, trying to figure out why it was there. This only added a surreal feeling, to the point that I was sure that I must be experiencing a dream rather than the world itself. After a while, though, it seemed like I just wasn't going to wake up because I wasn't asleep. I stood up to orient myself, and I caught the flash of some trampled shrubs that looked like a path, but the woods were thick behind it, so I turned to look elsewhere. I didn't recognize this place. I played in the woods by my house all the time, and so I knew them really well, but I had only been in them when it was dark once before. I had run through my woods straight to my house in the last edge of dusk countless times without even having to think about how to get there. But there's a big difference between the dusk and dark. And as I stood there, taking in all that there was to see in the dim light, it started creeping into my mind much more forcefully that this might not be my woods after all. A shiver that I think was only partially due to the chill that ran through me as I wondered how someone was supposed to find his way to a place when he didn't know where he was starting. I took a deep breath and a single step and felt a shooting pain in my foot. I lifted my leg quickly and relieved of balance, falling back to where I had woken up only moments ago. Buffalo, please, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang, how are you? I moved my eyes from when the turn to my throbbing foot and saw what had felled me. I had stepped on the thorn. It stuck about an inch out of the middle of my foot. But it only bled when I quickly tore it out of my skin. I want my arm back to throw it someplace where it wouldn't pose a danger to me any longer. But as I searched for a safe spot, I realized that there wasn't one. By the light of the moon, I could see that the thorns were everywhere. The whole ground was laced with this natural parted wire. I had been lucky to only step on a single thorn just then, but as this occurred to me, I became conscious of the rest of my body. I looked at my other foot, but it was fine. As a matter of fact, so was the rest of me. I searched over my legs and feet with my eyes and hand. No cut, no scrapes. I didn't have another scratch on me. I wasn't even that dirty. I cried for a little bit and then stood back up. I opened my mouth and filled my 6-year-old lungs to capacity, and just as I was about to scream for help, my breath hitched in my throat as a thought lodged itself powerful in my mind. What if someone heard me? I held the hair tightly in my chest and stood puzzled by my own question. I needed help. Should I hope that someone would hear me? All at once, I began to think of the fiends and monsters that I had imagined stalking and chasing me through and out of what might be these woods. I found myself wishing I had never played those games. I let the air escape slowly to give myself a last chance to use it in case I changed my mind and wanted to yell. I didn't. I would have to find my own way. I didn't know which way to go, so I just picked the direction and began walking. I walked for what felt like hours. I tried to walk in a straight line, but there was no path to follow. I made sure to course correct when I had to take detours around tree limbs that were too entwined to move through, or patches of thorns that were too broad to step over. Every time I would make my way past one of these natural obstacles, I would be confronted with a seemingly identical tapestry of foliage, and the feeling of hopelessness would begin to assert itself a little more. I just wanted to see something familiar, and each time the woods appeared particularly thick, I thought I had found my landmark. Oh, happy to hear that, Nugget. I don't know what you get if you put the scissor on the step. Sure, what do I get? Marking the outer edge of my usual explorations, there was an enormous pile of discarded and decaying Christmas trees that my best friend Josh had found once during a game of hide-and-seek. Although he had been driven out of its concealing shelter fairly quickly by fire ants, we would return to it many times to trample on the string of spherical colored ornaments that had been left behind. Stepsister. Ah, that's a nice one, Kevin. We had many stories about where the trees had all come from, but I assume now that the genesis of the pile was much more ordinary than what we had hypothesized. Whatever the origins, what was left was a tangled mess of still decorated, however sparsely, holiday trees that looked, from a distance, to be a single colossal Christmas tree. They used to be the easiest thing to spot in my woods, and if I found it, I would know where I was. But it was only if these were my woods. As I stepped delicately through the brush, an idea began to form in my mind. If I could climb a tree, I might be able to see my way to the woods exit. I became less despondent and began searching the canopy for a proper scouting position. None of these trees seemed tall enough, but if I could find one that was, I might be able to see a house. I might even be able to see my house, I thought. I stood still and balanced carefully on my now itching feet. The trees that loomed over me when I was woken up in these woods had been tall, I recalled. But I struggled to remember just how tall they were. Let me drink a sip of water. Well, thank you for reminding me to stretch. What about the branches? I mumbled to myself. I remembered seeing branches above me, and if they grew long enough, I knew that I would be able to climb up the tree. If I could possibly find my way back to that spot, I could work my way up the tree and possibly see a way out. But that will mean going back. I shifted on my feet and tried to make the best decision. Turning around, I took a few steps back toward the direction from which I had come. And I froze as a phrase echoed in my head. How far can you go? Into the woods. I had been tortured by this question for well over a year, and I stood there a bit bewildered by the fact that it had suddenly come rushing back into my mind. Yeah, treat your sisters well. Don't do weird things to your sisters. On an afternoon, toward the beginning of a kindergarten, I had come home from exploring a part of the woods that I had never seen before. I was excited to tell my mother how far I had gone, as she seemed, even if she was only humoring me, to be equally excited to hear it. When I had finished describing my journey, she congratulated me and asked if I thought I had finally seen all the woods there were in our neighborhood. I told her that I didn't think so, but that I wanted to. She smiled as she asked, "So, how far can you go into the woods?" This sounded like a challenge, so I answered confidently, but none of my answers seemed satisfactory to her. Really far. Super far. And even all the way were all rejected as viable responses. After each attempt to close the issue, she would just return with the same question, becoming more amused by the minute. Showling Daddy, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang, how are you? At a loss, and wanting to be able to answer her question so that she would stop asking it, I asked the only other authority figure I knew, my teacher. She gave me a quizzical look and asked me what I meant. I didn't even really know what I meant, and so just repeated the question. She thought for a moment and said, "I don't know. Let's see." And she walked me over to the map that was tacked to her classroom wall. Hello, welcome. She asked me the name of my street, which I had memorized, and she took a moment to find it before touching my shoulder and holding her finger on a big patch of green. "I think these are your woods," she said. I repeated my question again. I told her that my mom had been asking me this question repeatedly. As I told my teacher this, she seemed to realize something. and took her finger off the map. She smiled coldly, saying, "I don't know. How far can you go into the woods?" As I stood there in the woods with my arms tucked inside my shirt to avoid the frigid air, I thought about this question. I remembered how I came across the answer. They stirred a warm fondness in me that almost made me forget about the reason the question had come back into my mind to begin with. I discovered the answer just a few weeks after I asked my teacher. My grandparents called to chat with my mother and me, and when my mom handed me the phone to talk to my grandfather, "Pop, I thought I could have a little fun and be on the giving end of the antagonizing for once." Before he could even ask me how I'd been, I charged him. "Hi, Pop, how far can you go into the woods?" "What? How far can you go into the woods?" I repeated only knowingly, although I knew nothing at all. "Hello, FBI 22232. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. And thank you so much for reminding me to stretch." I'll stretch my legs. "Oh, well, I suppose about halfway," he said, snickering. "What? How come you could only go halfway?" And then, as if he had been waiting for this moment for his entire life, he bellowed, because if I went any farther, I'd be coming out. He began laughing so hard that it transformed into a coughing fit, and he handed the phone off to my grandmother. It took me a while to appreciate the nature of this question and its answer. I had never heard the riddle before, but the more I thought about it, the more I liked it. I would ask the question to dozens of people in the months to follow. Standing there barefoot in the woods, thinking about this riddle, I found that it wasn't amusing anymore. However, now it was more than just a silly question. I had walked a long way. For all I knew, I couldn't walk any farther in. The last tree might be just ahead. If I turned back now, I might be walking back into the woods rather than out of them. I pivoted to where I stood and resumed the trajectory that I had adopted when I set out. Everything was eerily quiet as I pressed on. The only noticeable sounds were of crickets, cicadas, and the light grinding of leaves under my sore feet. Occasionally, however, I would step too hard on a healthy stick, and its cracking would drive the noisy creatures to silence. I would stand there paralyzed by the sudden hush, and I would hold my breath and listen for sounds I hoped not to hear. When the insects resumed, so would I. Desperate to keep their noise, I trod carefully on the undergrowth, but it was thick, and here and there my foot would press down on a stake, just enough to snap it. The bugs were the rest, and so would I. This relationship persisted until the last interlude that I remember. I broke a stick. The insects hushed themselves, but instead of the expected silence, I heard what sounded like an infant crying in the distance. I could feel the blood draining out of my limbs as I listened to this wailing that didn't sound as far in the distance as I wished it to be. I felt a churning in my stomach and a weakness in my legs. Standing completely still and being careful not to make any noise, I waited, but the sound didn't stop. Suddenly, another sound joined the chorus. A large stick snapped just behind me. I panicked. "I think now," I said. The center of the night was a cat in either heat or rage, but I had no thoughts in my mind as I ran veering in different directions, taking as much care as I could to avoid big thickets of bushes and collapsed trees. I was paying close attention to where I stepped, because my feet were in such bad shape, and I suppose I instinctively figured that it would be better to move less quickly than not at all. I paid too much attention to where I was stepping, and not enough attention to where those steps were leading, because not long after hearing the cry, I saw something that filled me with such despair that I find it difficult to articulate its potency even now. It was the bull float. Hi FBI! Welcome! Also hi Valpa. I'm reading a horror story. I was right back where I had woken up. I stood there dazed, staring at the pool float. It looked totally familiar to me now that the initial mental haze that had blocked me when I first awoke had dissipated. I wondered if that was because it was the only thing in the woods that I actually recognized. But it didn't seem quite right. I shook it off and attended to what really mattered. I had traveled for what felt like a great distance, but I hadn't really moved at all. This was a magic or some supernatural folding of space. I was lost, utterly and completely. Up until the moment, perhaps in an effort to focus on what I could control, I had thought more about getting out of the woods than how I got in. But being back at the beginning caused my mind to swim. My feet had not hurt at first, but they were recognized now, and I had made not even an inch of progress. I had been hoping that these were my woods from the time that I had awoken in them. I had hoped that I simply didn't recognize them due to the obscuring and distorting darkness. But my optimism had long since disappeared, swallowed like everything else by the engulfing blackness. Is there any circle around that spot, or did I just get turned around and start making my way back? Let me drink. 1 second. I realized that even if I set out again on the path I had tried to follow at the outset, there was no way to be sure I would actually chart the same course. And if I took a completely different course, then I wouldn't have even made progress in terms of scouting the area through my original excursion. And although I had pushed it to the very back of my mind, rhythmically, like a metronome, my mother's riddle marched back to the front lines. Its footstep faint at first, but gradually building into a crescendo that became so loud I could think of nothing else. Into the woods. As this echoed through my thoughts, I suddenly pictured the woods as a vast circle of trees. As I turned at the spot on which I stood and looked around me, a fear crept into my mind that I might be standing at the very edge of the circle, and that whatever direction I picked would just lead me deeper, farther, into the woods. As I continued scanning the landscape around me, my eyes fixated on one of the trees that I had seen towering above me when I first woke up. I looked at it dully, the way you gaze at something when you aren't actually seeing it, despite how unshakably fixed your eyes have become, like staring at a wall when you're lost in thought. Slowly, both my eyes and mind regained focus, and I moved my head up. It was dull. I further despaired on myself and made my way to the tree, being careful to avoid the thorns that were blanketing the ground. As I stood on the exposed roots of the tree and I looked straight up the height of its trunk, I thought that the tree must surely be tall enough to allow me to see my way out. I reached my hand up and grasped the lowest limb, but as I tightened my grip, my arm began shaking. Trying to steady myself, I moved my other hand up onto the branch, but when I tried to pull myself up, I felt my body protest. I remember thinking the night it was simply too cold to climb the tree, but it wasn't the cold that stopped me. It was fear. I released the branch and looked back on the spot where my night had started. I could still see the place where I had woken up. It was a relatively clear spot in the middle of an otherwise debris-laced ground. As if I had tried to make a snow angel in dirt and I had given up in the middle of the project. It was a strange sight, but not any stranger than the rest of this place. Fully conscious of my feet's condition, I walked back to the small clearing and sat down with legs crossed. What if there's no way out? I questioned, tortuously. I was too defeated to feel anything but apathy, and I turned my attention back to the tall tree and the stars above, looking upon it all with listlessness. Tracing my eyes over the stars, I had an epiphany. I had heard so much about explorers navigating the world by sea, traveling to undiscovered lands, and building new civilizations. I had learned that they could do this by following the stars, and my spirit rose in the flesh, and I realized that I might be able to do the same. After all, I thought the North Star was just a bright star. And so I looked for and found the one with the most brilliant shimmer. I followed it. Okay, let me check how long the chapter is. Okay, yeah, we can finish it. I was careful to keep the star that I picked in my sight at all times. If I reached a point where the trees above obscured it too much for too long, I redirected myself on a path that avoided them. I ignored every sound that tempted me to whip my body around to confront it, and despite the pain, I surveyed the ground primarily by the feel of my feet rather than the sight of my eyes, knowing that if this star was lost, so too would be my way. Eventually, my surroundings began to look more familiar. A network of fallen trees that I recognized as one that I had used as ballast beams offered my first legitimate sign of hope, though I walked around and not across them this time. Soon after, I came upon a Christmas tree pile, its scattered ornament glimmering dimly in the weak moonlight. I quit a white berth to fetch glass shards that might still pepper the ground from the times that my feet, when they were less vulnerable, had pressed down upon the glass balls of holiday flair and crushed them. My nerves were beginning to calm. When I saw a dirt void called a ditch, I knew that I had made it out. The feeling of relief that was washed over me brought with it a smile that was more sincere and joyful than any I had ever worn on my face before. Despite the impulse to quicken my pace when I had my bearings restored and no longer had to watch my North Star so vigilantly, my feet were in so much pain that I had to be mindful of each step. A distance I had covered in mere seconds in my nightly exodus from these woods seemed to be never-ending. I walked with a limp in both legs in an attempt to avoid putting too much weight on either foot. But when I saw the edge of the woods, dirt floor, cut off by the paved cul-de-sac of my street, I grew so happy to be so close to home that I broke into a light of joy, a light shock, despite how much it hurt. When I actually saw the roof of my house over a lower set neighboring house, I let out a light sob and ran faster. Wincing with each step, I just wanted to be home. I had already decided I wouldn't say anything about any of this to my mother because I had no idea what I could possibly say. I would get back inside somehow, clean up, and get in bed. If I were lucky, she would never have to know about my odyssey. Anything that I might say would sound preposterous, and the thought of this whole experience reaching its sense strengthened my resolve to live in the pass forever once I finally shut the door behind me. However, my heart sank as I rounded the corner. My house came fully into view. Every light in the house was on. I knew my mom was awake, and I would have to explain, or at least try to explain, where I had been, and I couldn't figure out where to start. My run became a jog, which became a walk. I ducked under the lowest branch of a large pine tree that stood outside our property, carefully lifted the metal latch to the gate of the chain-link fence that enclosed our backyard. Slowly, I pushed open the gate in an effort to quiet the squeaking hinges. In about 50 seconds, I would knock on my back door and attempt to explain myself, but I was still reflexively trying to avoid being coaxed. I saw my mother's silhouette through the blinds, and although I was worried about how to explain things to her, it suddenly didn't matter to me anymore. I was home. It was over. I walked up the couple of steps to the porch and put my hand on the doorknob. I turned it thinking it might be unlocked since my mother was awake. There was no sense in delaying the inevitable. There was no reason to knock. It turned to full motion, and I felt a mixture of both relief and apprehension. I was just about to push the door open when 2 arms wrapped around me and pulled me back, away from the door. This couldn't be happening. I defeated and outrained my imaginary pursuers countless times in my nightly scramble from the woods, but this wasn't imaginary. I looked at the silhouette in the window and tried to reach out. The arms constricted on my chest and lifted me off the ground while I struggled against them. I looked down at the appendages that had ensnared me. They were small, but there was something covering them. It looked like fur. I squeezed my eyes tightly shut. This can't be happening, my mind roared. The monsters were just pretend. I opened my eyes again and looked at the arms that were crossed over my torso. It was fabric, not fur, but it brought no real comfort. I was still being restrained. I still needed to get free. I screamed as loud as I could. "Mom! Help me! Please! Mom!" The feeling of being so close to safety, only to be physically pulled away from it, filled me with a kind of dread that is, even after all these years, indescribable. The door had been torn away from opened, and a flash of hope shot through my heart. But it wasn't my mom. It was a man, and it was enormous. A thrash violently and kicked at the shins of the person holding me. But even if I succeeded in escaping my captor, I knew that I would also have to get away from the person who had just come out of my house. This hulking figure was now steadily approaching me. He reached his hand out for me, and it extended out of the shadow that had been cast on him by the porch light just above its head. It was a cruel and cracked claw, badly burned, with the consistency of a plastic bag that had melted and cooled. "Oh, Dimalai, thank you for reminding me to drink." Up until the moment, I had never imagined that I could be in any legitimate danger from which my mother could not rescue me. But as I watched the man closest in between us, and as I felt my captor's grip grow ever tighter, my fear was joined with rage. My mother simply could not be gone. "Let me go! Where is she? Where's my mom? What'd you do to her?" As my throat stung from screaming, and I was drawing in another breath, I became aware of a sound that had been present for longer than I had perceived it. "Honey, please calm down, I've got you." It sounded like my mom. The arms loosened and set me down, and as the man who had been approaching me leaned down and put his hand on my shoulder, he eclipsed the porch light with his hand, allowing me to see more than just his frame. He was a large man with a tremendous burn scar on his left arm. I brought my eyes away from it and looked him up to his badge. He was a police officer. I turned to face the voice behind me, without I was still tempered by fear. It really was my mom. The dark brown curls of her hair brushed my face as she knelt down to embrace me. I was finally safe. Tears started flowing down my face, and I sobbed heavily while the three of us went inside. The back door opened to a narrow hallway. On the right was the door that opened to the bathroom, which was connected to my room by another door. There was a faint smell of mildew that emanated from the bathroom. Networks of villains and ghosts that in my bathroom meant that I would never draw the curtain closed when I wasn't in the shower. I would only mostly draw it closed when I was. Because of this, water collected in its folds and flooded the whole area of the house with a faint smell of water rot. To the left were a washing machine and dryer. My cat was sitting on top of the dryer, and I gave him an absent stroke, and I walked past and turned left toward the dining room. We sat at the table that my mother and I used as a dining area when we ate and workstation when I had school project. It was a fairly large, square table that had been painted white. But there were several spots where the early use had started to chip the white paint away, revealing layers of different colors on top of the original coat, whatever that might have been. One area looked almost like a cross-section of a jawbreaker candy, with its concentric and rainbow-colored rings, though my idle or nervous hands had helped along the more excavated section where I sat at the table to do homework or a serious talk with my mother. Historically, the more nervous I was, the more frantic I attacked. I learned that night the first coat of paint was yellow. "I'm so glad you're home, sweetie. I was worried I'd never see you again." She had begun to cry as well. "Where did you go?" I don't know. I don't know what happened." I feared the whole event being ineffable was coming true. "What do you mean you don't know what happened? Where have you been? Oh, look at you, you're filthy," she surveyed me, now that we were in better light. "Oh God, your feet." I looked down and winced. The top of my feet were caked in a thick, dark coat of my own blood that had already begun to crack with the pattern of aged glass. As I moved my feet against the linoleum, I could feel that the blood was acting as an adhesive, and I could hear the sound of my skin peeling free from the floor as I lifted them. "You went to the woods? Baby, we talked about this. I can't believe you." "Mom, I didn't. I don't know what happened," I protested. This was quickly becoming an argument, and neither my mom nor I was feeling up to it. "It's okay. It's fine, honey. Just don't ever do this again, okay? I'm not sure me or machines could take it." A little laughter broke through my sobs, and I smiled a bit. "Well, I'm sorry for kicking you, but why'd you have to grab me like that?" "I was just afraid that you'd run away again. You had just come home. I wasn't about to let you run off again after what you wrote." I was confused. "What do you mean?" "I found a note you left on your pillow," she said, and pointed the piece of paper that the police officer was landing across the table. I picked up the note and started to read it as my mother and the police officer walked into the kitchen. The note said that I was unhappy and I never wanted to see her or any of my friends again. It was a running away letter. While the policeman exchanged a few words with my mom, I stared at the letter. I didn't remember writing any letter. I didn't remember anything about any of this. But there were many times where I will do things at night that I couldn't recall. I kept reading the letters. As I thought about how I would sometimes use the bathroom without remembering getting up, I would wake up and be so tired that I didn't even be right to school. But this was different. This was wrong. Even if I sometimes went to the bathroom at night and didn't remember, or even if I could have gone into the woods on my own and gotten lost, even if all these things were true, one thought repeated endlessly in the background of all the other questions and doubts that fill my mind. This isn't how you spell my name. I didn't write this letter. And this is the end of tonight's stream, I believe. I quite like the premise of this book. It's getting pretty interesting, and I would love to read more, but I'm also extremely tired, given how you guys got 20 more minutes of ASMR, which I guess it's a kind of treat. You got some extra time. Oh, let's read the heels. She's streaming. She already me a while ago, and I haven't managed to read her back. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. I'm happy to hear that, Nugget. Makes me happy to know that I'm able to help you guys relax. Okay. Here is the message that you can copy and paste. You can follow me on my socials and join my Discord server. And if you want to, you can get me a little something on Throne or suggest gifts, such as like a book that you'd like me to read or prompts for ASMR. You can suggest gifts, so maybe one day I'll do a review of all the suggestions I get. Again, thank you all so much for coming tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow. Sleep well, everyone, and sweet dreams. Mwah. Bye bye.